Money isn't just currency, it's a psychological weapon. Every day, unseen forces manipulate your relationship with wealth, exploiting cognitive biases you didn't know you had. This exploration reveals the darker mechanisms at play in our financial lives. The manufactured panic retailers don't just sell products, they sell urgency. Only three left in stock flashes across your screen, triggering an ancient survival mechanism. Your brain, evolved to hoard resources during famine, can't distinguish between genuine scarcity and artificial manipulation. The psychology is elegant in its cruelty. Scarcity creates a cortisol spike, narrowing your decision-making window. You bypass rational analysis and leap toward the purchase. The item was never scarce. The company simply understands that panic overrides prudence. The price anchor trap. Why do luxury brands display $10,000 handbags in their windows when they know most customers can't afford them? They're not trying to sell those bags. They're manipulating your perception of value. When you see a $10,000 bag, suddenly the $2,000 bag seems reasonable by comparison. This is anchoring bias weaponized. Your brain uses the first number it sees as a reference point for all subsequent judgments. Retailers exploit this mercilessly, setting artificial anchors that make overpriced items appear like bargains. The debt trap by design. Why minimum payments? Exist, credit card companies could demand full payment monthly. They don't, not out of kindness, but because minimum payments are psychological genius. They create the illusion of affordability while constructing a debt prison. Consider a $3,000 balance at 19.99%. APR with minimum payments takes over 18 years to repay and costs $7,000 plus in interest. The banks know you won't calculate this. They've designed the system so you feel relief at the low monthly payment, never seeing the compound interest accumulating in the shadows. The gamification of spending points, rewards, cashback, levels. Every spending app now resembles a video game, and this is no accident. Game designers call it variable ratio reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. You don't know exactly when you'll get a reward, so you keep spending to trigger that dopamine hit. Financial apps track your psychology in real time, learning when you're most vulnerable, when you're most likely to make emotional purchases. Your wallet has become a psychological experiment, and you're the test subject. Social engineering through status. The comparison curse. Social media isn't just a platform, it's a comparison engine designed to make you feel financially inadequate. Every vacation photo, every luxury purchase shared by influencers creates a reference point against which you measure your worth. This is dark psychology at scale. Platforms algorithmically promote content that triggers envy because envy drives engagement, and engagement drives at revenue. You're shown a curated highlight reel of others' wealth, never their debt, their struggles, their manufactured reality. The result? You spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people who don't care, all to escape the feeling of inadequacy that was artificially created in the first place. Lifestyle inflation as social control. Why do people making $200,000 feel as broke as those making $50,000? Lifestyle inflation isn't accidental, it's culturally engineered. As your income rises, society presents new necessities. The luxury car, the premium neighborhood, the private schools. This keeps high earners on the same hamster wheel as everyone else, just in a more expensive cage. The system benefits when everyone operates at the edge of their means, because financial stress creates compliant workers who can't afford to take risks, quit jobs, or challenge the status quo. The illusion of financial education. What they don't teach you, schools teach algebra, but not compound interest, history, but not investment strategies, literature, but not contract reading. This isn't oversight, it's systematic. Financial illiteracy benefits those who understand money. A population that doesn't understand debt, interest rates, or asset appreciation is easier to exploit. Pay attention to who profits from your ignorance. Banks charging overdraft fees, payday lenders trapping people in loan cycles, investment advisors earning commissions on products that underperform. The expert manipulation financial gurus sell you courses on wealth while making their real money from selling you courses. The irony is deliberate. They exploit your desire for financial freedom by offering expensive solutions to problems they help perpetuate. Watch closely. These experts benefit from your continued struggle. If you actually achieved financial independence, you'd stop buying their books, attending their seminars, watching their ads. Their business model requires your perpetual aspiration, not your actual success. Behavioral control through money. The subscription trap. Companies moved from ownership to subscriptions because psychologically, small recurring charges feel less painful than large one-time purchases. You'll pay $15 monthly for something you'd never pay $180 upfront for, even though the annual cost is identical. The dark genius. Subscriptions create mental accounting errors. Your brain categorizes the $15 as small and doesn't aggregate all your subscriptions into the real total, often 200 to 500 plus monthly. Companies bank on you forgetting about auto-renewals, making cancellation difficult, and exploiting the status quo bias, the tendency to stick with default options even when they harm you. The delayed gratification reversal. Classic psychology tells us delayed gratification predicts success, but modern finance has weaponized this. Buy now, pay later. Schemes reverse the psychological benefit of waiting. They let you experience the reward now while pushing the pain into the future. This is particularly insidious because it hijacks your future self. Today, you gets the pleasure while future you bears the burden. Companies understand that humans are terrible at connecting present actions to future consequences. They've built empires on this temporal blindness. The freedom paradox. Why wealth doesn't buy happiness, but poverty guarantees misery. Studies show money increases happiness up to about $75,000 to $95,000 annually, then plateaus. Yet wealthy individuals often report high stress, anxiety, and isolation. Why? Because the psychological game doesn't end at financial security. It evolves. Once basic needs are met, the comparison game intensifies. You're no longer comparing yourself to the poor, but to other wealthy people. The goalpost moves infinitely upward. Billionaires compete with other billionaires, never finding satisfaction because there's always someone with more. Meanwhile, those in poverty experience legitimate suffering from unmet needs. The dark truth. The system creates enough scarcity to keep most people stressed, but feeds high achievers just enough success to keep them chasing more. The planned obsolescence of contentment. Capitalism requires perpetual dissatisfaction. If you felt content with what you have, the economy would collapse. This creates a psychological treadmill. Advertising exists to manufacture desire for things you didn't know you wanted. Every ad is a dark psychology experiment designed to create a gap between your current state and an idealized future state. A gap that can only be filled by purchasing. The message is subtle but constant. You are incomplete. You are insufficient. But this product, this service, this purchase will fix you. It never does, because the system profits from the pursuit, not the arrival. Conclusion: awareness as resistance. Understanding these mechanisms doesn't make you immune, but it does make you more resistant. Every financial decision exists within this psychological battlefield. The question isn't whether you'll be influenced, you will, but whether you'll be a conscious participant or an unconscious victim. Money's dark psychology thrives in ignorance. By seeing the strings, you begin to cut them. Not completely. We all live within these systems, but enough to reclaim agency over your financial life. The most subversive act in a system designed to control you through money. Financial independence built not through consumption, but through conscious choice, delayed gratification, and resistance to manufactured desire.